finish working. Now I don't choose purpose that is earthly. What I got promise ain't on the surface. So I gotta guard my eyes now, fortify and guard my mind now. Put more faith in the I am, cause I'm all his, that's fine, no. No sweat, 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 sweat. Carry the cross, carry the burden, carry the pain on my back. That's 1 foot in front of 1 foot. Trust him, not eyes, not my own work. Walk mile on mile in his footsteps. No break, won't break on the conquerors. Conquer flesh for the soul, cause he paid what I owe. No fear in me on the road, cause this is what he showed. When I woke up early from a God visit. 9 pillars underneath a mansion. Rooms on top of rooms with a gold room inside a large temple. Jesus said, this my father's house and it's all you when you finish working. Now I don't choose purpose that is earthly. What I got promise ain't on the surface. And that's just like my faith. No play, no games about grace. Flesh broke, I break this bread. Blood spill, I take the strength. Come to communion. Come to your highness when spirit is moving. Come be disciple. Lean on his word and never trust idols. Cause the separation out here real. Ain't no God in how you feel. Only way is how you live. By the gospel that he sent. Kingdom here in your mix. Son and man in the mix. Broken body getting fixed. Move the stone from your chest. Put the glow in your spirit. Promises always kept. Promises always kept. I woke up early from a God visit. 9 pillars underneath a mansion. Rooms on top of rooms with a gold room inside a large temple. Jesus said, this my father's house and it's all you when you finish working. Now I don't choose purpose that is earthly. What I got promise ain't on the surface. 9 pillars underneath a mansion at my Abba house. Go to the ceiling, got me feeling like I'm Solomon. Yeah, God. Yeah. I don't even know what time it was, but it's a true story. I woke up early from a... Peace. What's going on, folks? What is going on? We are back again. I think my sound is too low. Check. I think my sound is mad low, so give me 1 second so I can turn up real quick. I hope everybody can hear me out there. Let me check it. I don't know what's going on right now. Check. Okay, here we go. I don't know what happened, but it happened. So I'm back again. Sorry, I'm late today. Normally I would be on here in the beginning of the day, but that did not happen. So here we are. We logging in, checking in today. Had a pretty good day today. Still watching this election. It's going on, dragging out. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. But what we are talking about today, my friends, should upset you immediately as it concerns our national election and how things are operating under the guise, because again, nobody knew. Everybody who is looking at Virginia is like, how did Virginia get called as soon as the polls close? As soon as the polls closed at 7:30, they had already called Virginia for the loss of President Trump. Now, the reason why you're here is because you're probably wondering why. And if you haven't Googled as of yet why we're saying that the Virginia elections are actually a sham, is because our house here in Virginia has made our presidential elections into merely how do I want to say it, not just a sham, but a symbolic move. Now, John, how is it symbolic? Well, in February of 2020, February 28th is when I want to say February the 8th of 2020.
I'm looking at it right now in the PDF of the full text. HB 177, which is House Bill 177 here in Virginia, in the legislation, they made your vote not count in the elections, because now Virginia elections don't matter, because the electoral college goes straight to whoever wins the popular vote. Oh, you mean if I win in Virginia, the popular vote, they get the electoral college? No. Nationally. So if you win the national popular vote, then you get Virginia's electoral college votes. Virginia and Virginians did not vote. Their vote does not count anymore, because nobody could have voted for either candidate. And their votes would have automatically gone to whoever they declared to be the winner of the popular vote. They already knew who was the popular vote winner at 7:30. How? Can somebody tell me how they knew who was the winner of the popular vote for a national election at 7:30 before any of the polls closed, or before we even had 98% of the vote in most of these states? How? How, Sway? How? How do you call it in Virginia if California at the time had not even opened? If Arizona, which is a battlefield right now, hadn't even opened? If Michigan had not even opened? Nevada hadn't opened. South Dakota, North Dakota hadn't even put in their vote, but at 7:30, y'all already declared the vote for Virginia, even though it says the winner of the popular vote was going to go to Joe Biden. The Virginia electoral votes are going to Joe Biden before anybody else votes. There was already a coup against President Trump to win this national election. If this is not voter fraud, I don't know what it is. And they are legally using the legislation to commit voter fraud. They say they want everybody to be a part of every state to legally be a part of the national elections. But as it concerns VA, here in Virginia, your vote doesn't count, because regardless if you vote for Trump or not, we're going to give it to whoever wins the popular election nationally. Does this make sense to anyone? Does this make sense to anyone where your vote doesn't count? Your vote in Virginia does not count. No, it doesn't. Normally, I would be not as energetic as I am today. But there are so many people on the internet who don't understand how Virginia politics works as it concerns the national election. Many people do not understand how Virginia was won at 7:30 before everybody else got their votes in. Because simply, it is a symbolic vote. It's a symbolic vote. It didn't matter how many counties went red. It didn't matter how many counties went blue. It did not matter, because at the end of the day, your vote was going to go to whoever won the national election. But again, let's ask this question. How did Virginia know that Joe Biden was going to win the national election with the popular vote if no one actually had all of their votes in. We should have been the last one who was confirmed, but we were one of the first states to confirm. How, Sway? How? How is this even possible? Anyone who is in Virginia should be upset. Anyone who is in Virginia should be upset. Here is the proof. Because I know most people, they're like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Nope, I am not. So we're gonna switch over, show you my capture right here. And this is the Virginia Legislative website. And here it is, 2020 session. HB 177, Presidential Electors, National Popular Vote Compact. Presidential Electors, National Popular Vote Compact enters Virginia into an interstate compact known as the Agreement Among the States to elect a president by national popular vote. Article 2 of the Constitution of the United States give the states exclusive and plenary authority to decide the manner of awarding electoral votes. Under the compact, Virginia agrees to award its electoral votes to the presidential ticket that receives the most popular votes in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. The compact goes into effect when states cumulatively processing a majority of the electoral votes have joined the compact. A state may withdraw from the compact. However, a withdrawal occurring within 6 months of the end of a president's term shall not become effective until a president or vice president has qualified to serve the next term. The bill incorporates HB 199. We just read the bill. Virginia and the Democrats who run Virginia's House and their legislation have stolen the election. This election cycle is off, not due to Corona, but because they changed the rules after they lost to Hillary Clinton. Remember, last time the vote was counted, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, lost the electoral vote. So what did they do? They went and changed the rules of the election. They ran a coup against the president. This went into effect in February of last year, so they already knew that they were going to do this. They already knew long ago that they were going to do this. It says it right in the bill. It says it right in the bill. There's an interstate compact, meaning multiple states are in this compact to say that no longer will we go with the electoral college type of vote that we've had for the entirety of the country's history, and we're going to change it to where the popular vote wins the presidency. Mob rule, much. It amazes me that in 2020, because we have Donald Trump in presidency, we want to go ahead and change the rules in 2020 so that we can get him out of here. This election was rigged from the beginning. The voices of the many communities and the many counties who voted for Donald Trump, no longer have their voice. And it has been snatched away from them by people who want to take over this country and make it into a socialist country, who want to make you into slaves to the to groupthink, who wants to make you slaves to what they say should be. And we're not talking about just Democrat or Republican. We're talking about those elites who want to push their agenda on you. They're not going to stop. They are not going to stop. Silver lining again. The Republicans have won the House back. They have a good majority in the Senate. Federally. So a lot of those laws that they're going to try to implement, a lot of those things that they want to try to implement are not going to go through. But the thing about it is, all of Virginia, you need to take notice of what they did in the guise of the coronavirus and how they passed this during the coronavirus so that you didn't know about it. So they told everybody about the coronavirus, did this under the guise of the coronavirus. Because remember, coronavirus was all over the news. But this, as it concerns your voting rights and your rights as a Virginian and an American, they stole it from you. Who voted for this? Who voted for this? Who constructed this bill? Who did this? Because if you're Republican or you're Democrat, you should be upset. I don't care what team wins, because if this goes into a situation where the Republicans actually end up winning the popular vote, guess what? Virginia is going to go to the Republicans. So Democrats should be mad. Your representation should mean everything to you, because your individual rights are being taken away from you through secret coups and backdoor legislation. This is crazy. This election cycle is crazier than you actually think it is. I want to switch over to this video because I'm hyped right now. I'm a little upset because I did not know this. And when I casted my vote, I did not know this. And as I was talking about everything that was going on in the news as it pertains to coronavirus, when I was going live at first, I did not know this, and I was not able to put this information out there to the people who needed to know before this election cycle. And now I feel shammed, bamboozled, taken out of my element, because I trust whichever way it would have went. Whichever way it was supposed to go, whether it was Biden and or it was Trump who won Virginia, for it to be a fair election and for the representation of the people to be exactly what it's supposed to be. But it's not. Play this video so that you can see there were people who seen this. And I want you to see these legislators and their faces as this woman is talking about our civil liberties being taken away from us as Virginians. They
Good afternoon.
do not care about us.
I represent Virginians for Medical Freedom, but since everyone's throwing race around, I'm a minority woman, as you all can see, and I'm in opposition of this bill. Our nation was not created on a whim. It was founded on proven principles dating back to 1014. The genealogy of our Constitution includes the 1100 Charters of Liberty, the Magna Carta, the English Constitution, and so many other foundational documents and works like those of John Locke, which created a nearly perfect and very limited servant government. With lots of scrutiny, this wasn't on a whim, a bunch of white men getting together, we're rich, let's do this. With lots of scrutiny and thought, Our framers chose a Republican form of government, not a democracy. We, the people, created government as a servant to stand in for us when we can't. I am here to tell you that you don't have the authority to change a foundational principle that makes up how this republic functions. Going from electoral to popular vote fundamentally changes our system. Our system formed from a Republican form to a government to from a Republican to a democracy, where the mob rules, which is why our founders chose against it. If you believe in the popular vote, you believe in collectivism and in slavery. Let us not forget that the popular vote is kept slavery alive and well in America, especially in Virginia. Those who want this bill do not truly understand our form of government or our history. They don't love liberty if they are okay with liberty being in the hands of the mob. Your oath of office made the Constitution your job contract, and you became public servants to the people. Anyone who votes for this bill is committing the crime of treason, so be on notice. You cannot claim ignorance of the law of the land, which guarantees to each state a Republican form of government. You are entrusted and paid on the basis of your sworn oath to support and defend it, not to legislate over it, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. John Adams said, "Remember, democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide." Thank you.
If you, the reason why we do not have mob rule in America is because the system of mob rules will always create corruption. The corruption that is going on right now in our country is running rampant. The counties on top of counties on top of counties who have told you, the American people, the American government, we are Republicans. Because you can look at almost every single state, and it's red. Redder than this light on my back. Am I upset about the loss that may come? No, because our political system is set up that way. Somebody comes in, somebody leaves. Trump had to leave at some point in time. It's not about the person, it's about the party. But for us to not even get a part, to have a part in this election is a disgrace to democracy. As a former soldier of the United States of the United States Army, active duty, a veteran who fought in the war, OIF, who lost many friends in the war. I am ashamed of this country and what it has become, all due to the fact they don't like how somebody talks. We're willing to trade in our freedom over personal squabbles, not policy, but because we don't like how somebody talks. We don't like how someone talks. Ring the alarm. Everybody equally has a Second Amendment right. Newsflash, everybody has a Second Amendment right. You don't like how he talks, but you're willing to sell yourself and your freedoms up the stream and allow other people to sell you up the stream and steal your rights as an American. I don't care what your color and your race is. If you're a citizen of this country, you are an American. You are an American. You don't want to be called a Jamaican. You don't want to be called a South American, a Ukrainian, a German. You are an American if you are a citizen of this country. You're not a Canadian. You're an American. No matter what your skin color is, none of that matters. And because you're American, you have inalienable rights. And you get to fight for those rights because you are an American. Now, if you were Chinese and you were living in China, you wouldn't have any other choice but to go with the regime. If you were in Korea, North Korea, you wouldn't have any other choice. You don't have any rights. So as an American, regardless of your color, regardless of your creed, regardless of your political stance, you have rights. And they're being stolen by people who think that they have the right to take away yours. I have nothing other to say. I've already showed you the bill, and I've already showed you what they think about you while you're fighting for your rights. Peace.